This week on the Bryan podcast, we take inspiration from Boeing's aviation forecasts. We'll take you straight into the world of the most explosive aviation market, the Middle East. From a looming global pilot shortage to Saudi Arabia's billion-dollar master plan, the industry is shifting fast. Emirates is reviving the A380, Riyadh is buying jets by the dozen, and Qatar Airways, they just hired Hans Zimmer to score your next flight. Today's episode is packed with profit margins, air taxi futures, and why every ambitious aviator should keep an eye on the desert sky. But before that, we need to go local, chat about FlySafair. I want to talk about the MAX 7 and 10 certifications. I want to talk about why not to use AI for social media posts. And I want to hear what you've been up to.
Sounds good.
And on top of that, I want to apologize for my cold.
Battling with the Rona again.
Yeah, again.
That's how it goes, man. It's winter time, and when you've got small kiddies, it's one of those things that you just can't avoid. It's in a recurring loogie that just...
I just can't get rid of it.
Yeah, no.
And it's there, and it's flipping annoying.
Yeah.
So I've got a bit of a nasal thing going on.
It's cool, man.
But let's go into Safair. From what I'm reading this week, it seems to be that the shift has sort of happened where there's less talk about a salary increase and more talk about sorting out the rosters, which is no surprise. I think, that was probably front and center for this whole thing to begin with. But it kind of just plays into this narrative that is just going on. I don't think it matters what industry you're in, where you are. This is like a front and center theme for everyone. And one wonders how easy something like that is to sort out. When you're a pilot and you're sitting there, it's quite easy sometimes to think you have the whole picture, but you don't. And it's not so easy to just shift everything. And on top of that, Safair need pilots, so they're going to have to do something.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Watching all the social media feeds around that this week as well, there was an article that came out yesterday where they're obviously trying to slate the pilots for striking, and they're saying, are you aware that Safair pilots are among the top 1% of earners in South Africa? And I was like, try and skew the story like that and give the general public like a shitty outlook on, why should the pilots be striking if they earn that much money?
Which article was that?
Man, it was
one of these fear...
bullshit things on Facebook or whatever. But, going back to where I was going with that was, I don't think they've got the whole story. Again, it's more about fighting for a better lifestyle. Yes, the salary increase is part and parcel of it, but, no.
It's almost like if we're going to fight for the roster, we might as well throw salaries in there.
Yeah, exactly.
To try and sort that out as well. It's not good because it's obviously, what are we now, Friday? So this has been going on all week.
Yeah. When they threatened that this was possibly going to go on for like 7 days, I still thought, nah, man, they'll get this sorted out quick sticks. But it seems like this arm wrestle is real. Yeah,
it is real, and by the sounds of it as well, we got version 2.0 doing the cleanup flights.
Yeah, look, I think a lot of the other airlines are scoring on the back of this. A couple of my mates that are flying for other operators saying that they've been called in off of their tour leave to assist with extra flights. So I suppose they're scoring.
Yeah.
But still.
It's not good.
No.
I kind of... I've just been to Hitzeroth, drove there and back, and South Africa is awesome. It's so awesome. I just said to you right now, weird going to a place like that when you're not on leave.
Yeah.
And you're like not in that holiday mode. And it's going to be busy there this weekend. So I was talking to someone expecting lots of vehicles on the road. A few private schools are on holiday, so the game farms there are going to be busy. And I was thinking about it driving back yesterday. It's so difficult as a pilot and as an airline to try and get this whole roster thing sorted out because you got school holidays, You've got this narrow window where the kids and your wife and everyone is available to take leave. I don't know, how many pilots do they have? Quite a few, huh?
Yeah, I would guess probably around the 300 mark.
So you got 300. Let's say not all the guys have kids in that, but there's a big portion of those pilots that
Probably at least 2/3.
Yeah, that have sort of kids, and they're sort of vying for just a window of opportunity to do something with the family. And this is where the difficulty comes in. And like I said, it's not just aviation, it's everything. I mean, we're in aviation, not necessarily flying, but I couldn't take leave now either, just the time of year, beginning of the financial year, there's no ways. So it's so difficult, this thing, to get the balance right. So I'm going to throw like something at you. I thought, okay, so if that is the case, I mean, it's the case with many airlines around the world. Safair not immune to this whole thing. But is this why the sort of I like see the smaller airlines coming to the fore a little bit and managing to sort of punch above their weight, particularly in the type of crew that they can attract these days. I'm talking about these airlines with maybe 2, 3, 4 aircraft, even these sort of semi-corporate-y type of jobs. And I think a lot of the benefits of those airlines is that you are able to manipulate your own roster a bit and call your mates and say, hey, can you do this flight for me and I'll do that flight? And there's huge value in that. And I wonder if are those jobs not going to become more and more and more popular?
Yeah, I was speaking to a crew that operate in a similar type of vibe just the other day. Chatting to them about how their work-life balance works out. And they have that exact kind of setup. They can manage things amongst each other because it's small enough to manipulate and MacGyver. Everybody knows everyone's backstory and they help each other out. And I totally agree. That is it's quite a cool setup. It's unfortunate that there's not enough operators, I suppose, to satisfy the demand in the industry right now, and certainly not enough aircraft of that caliber to make that work.
No, there's not. And it's obviously an ideal world type of situation. But, just watching this whole thing play out, and, if I'm being perfectly honest, I don't see the pilots getting exactly what they want. And I don't see the Safair management getting exactly what they want either. It's going to be a little bit of a compromise on both sides. And you're still stuck with the situation of the whole work life and, trying to manipulate your life to keep your airline, the people that pay your salary, happy, your wife and kids happy. And it's this sort of constant juggling act that is not easy, that pilots are thrown into, that there's certainly no training for, there's no support for, and it's difficult. And I think it probably needs to be spoken about a bit more.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things that just, we're not really in the brochure of what flying is all about when you start at flight school. You start out your flying career, it's a dream, everything's cool, shiny knobs and buttons and uniform and everything's all rosy. But this is the side of aviation that does suck, especially when you are older with families, try and manage that. And I just don't know if there's any sector within aviation that actually gets that right, man. Whether you're a pilot, cabin crew, engineer, check-in staff, whatever.
They mentioned it on Cockpit Casual on an episode. I don't know if you saw that one of the recent ones. And he was talking about people getting into aviation. He says from, his experience, you really got to want to be in this industry because you're going to have tough times, lonely, away from home, away from family. You're going to miss birthdays, weddings, this and that. And you've really got to be dedicated to that job because it's going to be very difficult to stick with it, with all those things that you miss. Yeah. But I just, there has to be a way. There has to be a way where the pilots don't lose out. And I'm saying pilots, but cabin crew as well. Yeah. Don't lose out completely with it, There must be a balance.
Yeah, I just hope. I mean, there must be, like you say, some sort of a recipe or a formula that they can combobulate
Yep.
and hopefully try it out and make it work. There's a lot of commentary around the way that Ryanair and EasyJet get it to work. I don't know enough about those airlines or the European setup to say, hey, well, why aren't they just adopting that system? But I mean, the 5 days on, 4 days off kind of thing seems to be like a palatable solution, because what they're saying is, you fly hard for 5 days, but a 4-day sort of rest period in between that is enough time to recover from 5 days of hard grind, but then also maybe plan something with the family. So,
it seems totally fair. I stand corrected on this, but I do have a couple of mates flying there, and from what I understand is they've got lots of smaller bases. So one of my mates, he lives in Portugal, and operating out of a base there. Now you would think that then you're back to your normal small operator again, because I can't believe they've got hundreds of pilots there. Probably got a very small group there, and then they are able to manipulate it a little bit more. Wizz Air Abu Dhabi was a bit like that.
Yeah.
I mean, no longer, but they were like that. So they sort of had the sort of senior pilots there, basically what it sounds like, also stand corrected on this, but sort of running the show and, sorting out rosters and things like that and making it work. And, it's not a seniority thing, but the more senior you get, the more people you get to know and the more you can sort of play a little bit of politics. And it's the only way you can get it to work.
Yeah. I was just wondering now you were saying that. I mean, it's like, isn't rostering sometimes better probably left up to the group of pilots? You say, guys, there's the schedule, sort it out amongst yourselves, and then, let us know when you got a plan. Because
I think up to a certain size.
Yeah.
Once you're beyond a certain size, I mean, Safair is massive. Now you've got this is a heavy machine with a lot of momentum. And if something doesn't work out because someone didn't arrange it properly, it can affect things for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah. Like you say, I mean, that does demand someone in that role who can see the bigger picture and, sort it out properly. I wonder where it's going to go.
I don't know. I hope they do sort it out. South African aviation needs FlySafair. The pilots need it, and they're an airline we can be proud of, but the pilots need to get out what they deserve. I think the demand for pilots is enough where they've got a bit more leverage than they have in the past. So let's hope they sort it out.
Yeah, all the times.
Can we go to Boeing quickly? This caught me by surprise because I didn't actually realize that the certification was still so far off for the MAX 7 and 10. Both aircraft are still lacking a finalized design to address a safety issue with the engine anti-ice system that the company committed to Congress and the Federal Aviation Administration it would fix before delivery. The plane makers deferred to the regulator to guide the certification timing of the last two members of the MAX family, but the still unfinalized fix is pushing the approval of both single-aisle aircraft into 2026 after Boeing's preferred solution created another safety issue that sent the company's engineers back to the drawing board following testing last year.
Why would the anti-icing system be any different to the 8 and 9 for the 7 and 10?
To be honest, Paul, that's why it caught me by surprise a bit when I read it. I thought, is that not sorted out yet?
Yeah.
But yeah, there's obviously there's some differences there, and they're not sorted out, so they can't actually progress further. So that pushes those two variants to next year.
Interesting.
So the article comes from the Air Current. I don't know if you've ever looked at the Air Current. Whenever I've got extra cash, I subscribe because it's not that cheap, but it's so good, and it leads me to my next point. I think the editor of this, he's been sort of quite vocal. Charles Ostra. Anyway, social media, I would say in particular LinkedIn, has become a real cesspool for rubbish. With the use of, it's all AI. And it's so obvious that it's AI. I want to throw this out there now. I mean, when you look at those things, someone that makes a post and it's clearly written by AI, even if it's subconsciously, you sort of, I'm not going to read this. This is bullshit.
Yeah. I certainly do, because it's like I'm less interested in reading something that a robot has written.
Yeah.
I think there's two different types of posts. So you get the ones that are like AI written articles. I've tried that.
Yeah, everyone
and you know that it's just bullshit. No one's gonna know that's you. It's just not tangible enough. You need to read something that comes from that person. And
so the point that I'm trying to make is there are expert articles out there, and they normally they have to be through a paid source, because these guys have to earn an income, and it's actually well worth, if you are interested in aviation, go and get your information from people that are professionals in this, that know what the hell they're talking about, and that are giving you the right gen.
Yeah.
And sort of the air current's one of them for me. I just the actual writing, the quality of it, the accuracy in terms, it's like, you read something and you go, I gained value from that.
Yeah, you get what you pay for.
Otherwise, you read something and it's like, it gives you just enough for you to like, huh? What? Now I must go research it a bit more.
Yeah.
But there's just absolute nonsense out there. So if you are posting a little bit too much with the old AI backing, I don't think you have to. I don't think you have to. Post a normal picture. You don't have to generate an AI generated picture either. Take a photo.
Yeah.
Just put that photo on there and write something. You make it simple. Make it 3-4 lines. It doesn't, the minute it's got these fancy looking bullet points, and this very neat sort of intro, bullet point, then outro, and then like, what do you think about this? Let me know in the comments. A lot of the time that's AI, and we all know it is. So no one's fooling anyone.
Look, I think a lot of time that's also done to save time. If you can create a post.
But then if you don't have time to do it, pal, you shouldn't be doing it.
Well, yeah, I say you can definitely use AI.
Take the podcast now. Yeah. Take the podcast.
But you go and generate a post, but then you do take a bit of time to actually, okay, cool, that is AI generated, but let me finesse it up and put my own personal touch.
Look, that's a different story.
That's what I'm getting at. I think that's acceptable.
There's nothing wrong with using AI to research and give you ideas as to what you can talk about. No issue. But when you're taking an article, and you're saying create an article on XYZ, and then you're going, oh, that looks cool, boom, straight to LinkedIn. I don't dig it.
It's not Ayoba. It's not.
I don't think you need to.
No. I think, people are smart enough to know that you can see through that AI curtain and can't pull the wool over their eyes. It's just not authentic enough.
It's not. That's why, watching the podcast with its sort of random topics here or there, it kind of, it sometimes plays into our favor. You can tell there's no ways these folks used AI to come up with today's script, because there is no script.
There is no script, no.
Yeah.
It actually brings me up to, we could probably talk a bit more about the YouTube thing a little bit later on, but they've also just released their latest, what do they call it, their study on what does well and what's trending at the moment. And it's quite interesting to see that the viewership is trending towards things that are more real, unrefined, not so polished.
Yeah.
That's kind of like what the podcast is.
Yeah, but unrefined. But right, let's get into a topic that I suppose, not to sound like a broken record on this, but Boeing came out with a forecast the other day. We've had IATA's forecast, we've had a few, and Boeing's outlook is as optimistic as you would think it is. 2.4 million new aviation professionals needed by 2044, mostly to replace retirements. So this was the first article that came out that I've seen where it actually spoke about the retirement angle here.
Yeah.
So you've got a huge chunk of the aviation industry that will be retiring over the next 10 years.
Yeah.
There's a massive, massive chunk. And obviously those have to be filled up, but obviously you then have to add on for the growth. So this includes 660,000 new pilots, 710,000 technicians, which is mad. I know how difficult it is to find good technicians, and over 1 million cabin crew members. Why it matters? This is a massive bottleneck for growth and a clear signal that training capacity, not aircraft orders, could become the limiting factor.
Yeah, it's you read that article, so just about every single faction there, pilots, cabin crew, engineers, demand is just about going to double.
Yeah,
in the next 20 odd years. It's
and we're seeing it play out already. I mean, it's here, but it's hard to picture how this is all going to happen. I mean, we don't talk about cabin crew enough. But how many cabin crew on a Emirates 777?
Shucks, man, there must be about 14, 15, 16.
Something there. I mean, it's a high number. You start adding aircraft on, you're adding massive amounts of cabin crew. I mean, are they not the limiting factor? I mean, I think that a job as a cabin crew member for a lot of people is the ideal job in many ways. If you're young and you want to travel the world, it's a no-brainer for me. Go become a cabin crew member.
I think the cabin crew member thing is slightly different, obviously, to pilots. I mean, first of all, I think I would imagine there's a high turnaround of cabin crew.
Yeah, for sure.
Look, the training.
But imagine the recruitment side. How complicated must that recruitment side be?
No, heavy. Especially when you've got to fit into a template, man. You've got to be so high, so wide.
Yeah.
Or not so wide. Yeah. You got to fit those parameters. It's got to be quite something for those people.
So that must be a challenge. We'll keep an eye on the cabin crew side, because that, I mean, yeah, the barriers of entry, I suppose, are much less than it is for a pilot, but you still got to find suitable people.
Yeah.
IATA says Middle East carriers will post $6.2 billion net profit in this financial year. That's the highest per passenger in the world. So the interesting thing here, when we talk about growth and all the stuff that's happening, it's very focused on the Middle East. So they're not even really talking about growth in Europe or in the States at this stage. It's all focused on Middle East. Load factors high, and obviously the big thing, spoken about that before, aircraft supply constraints. Riyadh, obviously, they're launching very, very soon, end of the year. 124 aircraft ordered, and they're going to be the kings there for a while, I think. You've got not fights, not the right word, but you've got this sort of juggling for the sort of premier spot, and Emirates looking at redoing some of the first class, business class sections. They are investing $5 billion to retrofit A380s with fully enclosed business class suites with 40-inch pitch. Then you got Qatar. They're saying, what can we do? They've got Hans Zimmer now to compose in-flight sonic identity, a branded soundtrack for passengers. The point is they're all doing things like, what can we do? There was a very fancy, was it Emirates? Their lounge, they like the lounge that says similar to like a luxury yacht,
Jeez.
They're all sort of seeing what they can do and vying for that position to try and be the premier outfit there in the Middle East. But the reality is they're all doing well. they're all expanding, but this growth, this aviation growth that we speak about week after week after week, is very much focused on the Middle East.
Yeah, and the thing is, there's no shortage of cash that side of the world. So the amount of money that they're throwing to try and advance these, passenger travel comforts and everything, it's just wild. It's really cool to see what they come up with. Some Lani ideas.
I say it is focus on the Middle East. You still got sort of outliers like Ryanair. I mean, 820 million euro record profit highlights another side of the coin. They're also complaining about aircraft delays limiting their growth. So, yeah, you're always going to have the outliers. They're an amazing airline, Ryanair. I mean, it is very... I don't think we've ever actually had to speak about them in a negative point of view from how well they're doing financially.
Yeah.
They're just on another planet. But you can't actually look at them and say, Europe's on the up and up because look at Ryanair. They're just a total outlier in the way they have built that company.
I'm going to be cocky and say it's all in the name.
Yeah. Yeah. Our name's pretty cool that it's got both of our names in the name of the...
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, that's why
That was designed with that, by the way.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so what it means for pilots, the Middle East now the epicenter of growth, high salaries, booming fleets, world-class infrastructure, and geopolitical support. So, strikes, lack of pay, lack of shitty rosters.
Yeah,
you know where to go.
Yeah,
you know where to go.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's all about the Middle East. What have you been up to, pal? I know you've been busy on a project of your own, and
yeah, man, it's I suppose a nice time to talk about it now. The last 2 months, we've embarked on a bit of a project. Started a YouTube channel with my son and my dad.
As you do.
Yeah. No, it's pretty cool, man.
What's it called?
Legacy Garage.
Nice.
Yeah. So I suppose put a bit of a backstory to this. You and I had a conversation a couple of months ago. And, sent me down a bit of a rabbit hole of thinking, shit, I definitely have to sort something out. And I was in a bit of a spot where I was really stuck for inspiration and an idea of what to do. And I suppose, that conversation revolved more about what is my participation in the podcast actually going to look like going forward? I can't just sit here like a bag of lemons week after week, nodding my head. Because eventually that's going to get stale. But my problem has always been finding the thing to do or the content to create. Anyway, cut a short story long. After our little break there in Margate a few months ago, came home and was sitting there chatting to my wife, and my son was sitting next to me. I was saying, I really just got to do something, man. It's just frustrating the hell out of me that I want to be able to create something, add value, whatever the case may be. It was out in the middle of nowhere. My little oak says to me, Dad, I really want a garage. I want to fix cars like this guy does on YouTube. So I said, what are you talking about? So he showed me this YouTube channel that he's been watching where this guy takes old rusted die-cast metal cars, pretty stuffed, and then he refurbs them and makes them look like brand new. And I looked at this and I thought, geez, that's a really cool idea. So I looked at this guy's YouTube channel and it's got an immense amount of views just from doing that kind of thing. And I was sort of like, yes, that would really be cool to try. But you know what it's like with us. We've got pretty hectic work schedules. We've got the podcast we're trying to push out every week. And I was stuck with a bit of a problem in my thinking of how do I do something that is creative, worthwhile, but also doesn't steal time from my family while trying to do that and work at the same time and everything. That's when this idea of this little legacy garage thing started coming together. It's like, let's actually do that. Let's
record the thing you want to spend your time doing.
And it's just been such a win-win. I mean, for the last 2 months, every opportunity we get, we sitting together on the weekends, putting together little models, We're big into RC cars now, and spending some great quality time with my little oak and my dad as well. Yeah, and we're recording it and putting it out on YouTube. No, not with the intention of becoming a YouTube billionaire in the next 6 months.
That would be nice.
Lacquer. And we've got some goals we want to achieve, but it's been really, really satisfying and cool to put this little channel together, and I'm learning a great deal out of it. Learning how to get better at filming stuff. And, because that stuff takes practice, as you've seen on the podcast. But yeah, man, I really enjoyed it. So yeah, we've actually made a real channel out of it, and it's just been so lucky to get my old man involved. Spend good time with my latie, and every week we're getting a little bit more creative on the projects that we're trying to put together.
I like it. I like it. I think being creative is important. Having a creative outlet is important, and it doesn't. You don't have to film it. People out there, but do something creative. Take any project and make something of it. And these days, you can attach it to a YouTube channel. You can attach it to a website. You can do what you want with it. It's this sort of new economy that we're going into. So no, well done for that, Paul. We'll leave the link for the channel in the show notes. You want to support Ryan on that and his old man and his latie, go and click on that. Make sure you subscribe. It's very cool. I've watched a few videos, very, very cool. And it's nice to support people that are taking a bit of a creative journey. We want to support you guys as well that are on the journey. I've said that a few times. However we can help and push a project out that you're doing, let us know and we'll promo it for you.
Yeah. No, I mean, we'd appreciate the support and the viewership. Look, it's very niche and it's not for everyone. And it's, it is what it is. It's just...
But that's what it's all about. Having something niche like that is never going to appeal. You're not trying to get it to appeal to the wider audience. You're trying to take something that you're doing. You're spending your time on it already. And you're just filming it, making it look nice, packaging it. And there is a demand for that. I mean, even... I saw you put something out about Lego the other day. Lego is so flipping expensive.
Yeah.
So you go out there and this beautiful one you have on the table here. Those aren't cheap. I mean, looking plus 4,000 rand. So if you're gonna buy that, you want to actually get a review from someone that has opened the box, that's seen the quality of the whole thing, because that's exactly what happened to us a couple of weeks ago. We're looking at a few things. Should I buy this one? No, I don't know. I must research it a bit more. I haven't researched stuff like that before, so you need somewhere to actually go and
I mean,
fiddle around.
That's the whole idea of it. I mean, for me, the most important thing is, first of all, getting to spend quality time with the family, and the little guy benefits from it as well because he's so interested in this now, and you get him to work with his hands. There's a bit of like a STEM theme to this.
Yeah, for sure.
And the idea of being able to actually document a few things that we're doing, it's pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
Pretty
cool. Those videos will hold more value to yourself later down the line. You can watch the progression of it and see the growth of your latie. No, that's cool, pal. I think that's an awesome thing, and wish you all the best with it.
Shot, man.
Keep going.
Yeah, we're gonna try. Consistency is key, and we'll just hammer them out. So when are you going back to Hoedspruit? Don't you wish you had bought that Bonanza that you were talking about a few weeks ago?
This time next year I want a Bonanza, so I can just that would be the longer term plan.
Yeah.
Depending on how many more Patreon supporters we get.
Yeah, you see where we're going. This is some more like, subscribes, and some
hit like, subscribe, buy Ryan and our Bonanza. No, look, family needed a break. I just can't take a break at the moment. It's just one of those things, and it's kind of why I'm. This whole SAFair thing. I kind of understand it from both sides at the moment because it's a very difficult one to manage. There was some very good news last week as well, just heading down back to South African sport. See, the baby Boks won the under-20 World Championship. I'm very proud there because that was literally like men versus boys in that New Zealand game. Our Oaks were massive. And they really played well through the tournament. In the final, they were a little bit reserved. But, very well done to the baby Boks. We've got UFC this weekend, which is on. I think it's going to be on Saturday night, which is cool because I think it's in Abu Dhabi.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Whitaker versus Rania Derrida, if memory stands me correct. Going to be a very, very good fight. But at least it's not early Sunday morning. So if you want to watch that. And is there rugby this weekend as well?
There is Boks versus Australia, if I'm not mistaken.
No, it can't be.
I'm telling you. It's we've got 2 matches against Australia coming up, and if there's a match that's supposed to be...
But there's Lions tours going on in Oz.
I stand to be correct. I'll check the dates.
Let's see.
Have a look there quickly. There is definitely... Well, while we're waiting for the update on the Boks, there's Formula 1.
Yeah, that's an important one.
Yeah, Belgium. Spa this weekend.
Let's see. Upcoming Supersport. I wish Supersport would sort out their...
That website is cack.
No, Oz is the next game, but that's only later.
Yeah. That's in September. I might be ahead of myself.
It's in August.
So
I actually don't know what rugby is this week. But
I
there's Formula 1.
was convinced there's rugby. There's been so much rugby the last couple of weekends that it kind of got into a rhythm. So apologies for that blaps, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm sure there is some form of rugby. Anyway, pals, nice to be here. Thanks for taking the lead on doing most of the talking today. My voice has just about made it through. I got to head off into the sim now and last another 4 hours in the sim. So trying to make a bit of it last. But no, thanks. Do apologize for the slightly nasally voice.
That's cool, man. Shot, guys. That was big fun. And catch you on the next one.
See you next week.
Ciao.
Bye for now.